though. I don't think there's any difficulties as far as the softball side is concerned for weather. They've gotten a lot of games in this season.
Yeah, they're not struggling with getting games in. Coach, right back from Myrtle Beach. Welcome home.
Thanks, guys.
Did you get a tan? I think that's the most important thing. Well, one, and two.
Some of it is tan. Some of it's blood pressure of dealing with 24 players 24/7 for a whole week. But in all honesty, our players are amazing, both on the field and especially off the field. They're all players of high character, and they treated this trip wonderfully. And now we're back home, and we got tested pretty well, and we came back a stronger team overall.
Let's talk about this trip, Coach. You had some adversity really for the first time this season as far as the losses go, and having to bounce back from losses. And each time you guys really bounced back quickly and got back to it. What did you see from your team at Myrtle Beach finally having to handle, close games and losses and being able to bounce back from it?
That was it. We really wanted to see as a coaching staff how our players would respond to, not being on the winning side of things. And again, as we go back through the book, we go back through the film, we see how many opportunities we had, and all the players know that those games were within striking distance, obviously, with it being a 0-2 loss and then a 2-3 loss in extra innings. But more importantly than, the losses, we bounced back the next day against a very well and very well talented and coached Paul VI team. And, I felt we really played our best on the last day. And again, it was a great opportunity to see what happens and how we respond when things don't go right. And even when things weren't going right, our players' attitude, their character showed throughout the game that, we're 1-2 plays away from winning both of those games. If, Maddie Taylor coming up with the big leader that she is, it's every player's dream, no matter baseball, softball, to be in a spot to, put your team up. She had 2 on, 2 out and hit probably the hardest hit I've ever seen Maddie Taylor hit. And that's saying something. And just a complete reaction play from Amaya to make that on the pitcher's mound, that breaks that game 2-1 in our favor in the top of the 4th. And it was a shortened 5-inning game. So it'd been interesting to see if we got to play that one through. And then, we had the opportunity against Jefferson, who honestly, I think is one of the best teams that we played all year, battled them into extra innings, and they just made one more play than we did. But to come back the next day and really put it all together, it's just a statement to how talented our players are and just their character.
I want to talk about this dynamic duo of McKenna Hogan and Sydney Watts getting a third no-hitter now, doing it out of state too, to showcase that they can kind of do it cross states as well. Just talk to me a little bit about the confidence that you've seen growing in Sid throughout the season, as well as how important you think an influential McKenna has been in getting that confidence to where it is.
Well, I'll tell you, it's honestly big sister and little sister. Both of them are always together. They're always either super happy or super fighting with each other, just like sisters are. And it's kind of, we play mom and dad role with that. And, it's all with a good smile because both of them are just absolutely wonderful people. And McKenna, having the experience of catching Lydia beforehand, really allows her to make Sid feel comfortable on the mound, to make Sid know that she's going to work as hard for behind the plate to really frame and to, catch some of the things that are up in the zone. And I can't say enough about McKenna's leadership with her, and then how Sydney responds as well, because there are tough situations that she's been put in. And, it's really interesting to see her at 14 years old really just lock it in and have that championship mindset and, play as a high D1 player.
I gotta ask about one of the videos that served. There were plenty of videos, plenty of fun moments, but one in particular that featured you that I guess we have to ask about.
I am so thankful that they caught that on film there.
Break it down. You're great at breaking down film for softball. Break down the film of that. What went wrong and what went right?
Well, see, I'm extremely fortunate because the players were kind of shielded from seeing me completely do that back smack, so they only heard it. And I'm not kidding. That's about 25 feet high. And I was going to do a cannonball. I'm not young enough to do a flip or do any of those things anymore. And when I stepped down, it kind of obviously pushed the inflatable down. I slip, I go off to the side, straight backwards, back smack. And I just had to float in the water for 2 minutes. I swear I thought I broke a rib for a minute. So it was hilarious. I'm glad they caught that on film, because then it just shows, we all could have fun no matter coaches or not, and laugh at ourselves for the moment.
We talk about those games, obviously, too, and the competitive nature of being down there with some other good teams is obviously a fun part. But it's those kind of moments that you live for these trips. Talk to me about how the team bonded throughout this trip, and how you think it's going to make you stronger throughout the season.
Well, again, all credit to our players, to our parents. We were just amazing ambassadors down there. That at Shark Wake Park, that obstacle course that you got to see me be so graceful on. That was actually our second time there because the manager invited us back down and wanted to get us back down there at a very good rate for every player and then siblings and everybody, because we represented ourselves so well that they were excited to have another team down there. In terms of other things, I mean, we got to go to Dave and Buster's for a team dinner. We got to do it was about a 2.5 hour scavenger hunt that Tommy Watts, Chrissy Watts, and Tatum Ray set up, going in and out of the building to the beach, everything. And I don't need to do conditioning drills. I just need them to set up these scavenger hunts, because I thought I was going to have to get oxygen for some of our girls, because they like to always tell me, Coach, I just run 60 feet or 120 at the most, Coach. I'm good. And they were red-faced, sweating. It was a workout that they got in, and I'm so thankful that, you know, all of our parents down there are just amazing supporters of every single kid that we have.
Coach, when you come off a trip like that, you have to kind of come home back to reality a little bit, and back to the familiar teams, back to the conference games, which are of the utmost importance. How do you kind of refocus and use all the lessons that you learned at Myrtle Beach and get ready for the game tonight at Boardman?
Again, I mean, you know, we have such wonderful players that playing a game is never a concern. They could go out there without 2 weeks of practice and they're all high-level performers, and we love them for that. You know, so again, it's just, we refer to the character, the lessons that we learned, the team bonding, how when we are extremely successful, it's because we are getting each other's back. We are cheering each other on. We're not individuals. It's not about your own success. It's about our success. Those are the biggest lessons. And as long as we keep taking those lessons and not worry about, well, my batting average is this, or maybe I didn't get a hit here, or I could have done this there. Those are all things for after game that you get to review. And, you know, as coaches, we talk to them about it and coach them up a little bit. But, you know, in terms of getting back here, it's going to be the routine and, you know, just having a nice warm up. We're fortunate that we played on dirt throughout the whole week, and then we're heading out to Boardman today, hopefully, and we'll be on a dirt field. And then, you know, it's back to Falcon Stadium there. And, you know, hopefully we bring the lessons that we learned onto the field today and have a good showing.
I got to ask, did the paddles make an appearance down in Myrtle Beach? If not, what was supplemented for them?
We had one paddle casualty. That wasn't because of me. I didn't, you know, they were the one missing might be because of me. I can't confirm or deny that one, but they were out in full force. You know, they said there wasn't enough things to hit them on that they like, so they're looking forward to coming home and creating all that havoc again. But again, overall, the experience of being able to take 24 players down there with a large set of parents and just have that experience to where I got to meet the Groveport Madison coach, and he invited us down to a tournament next year that is, you know, going to be billed as like the top teams in the state coming together for a weekend. So it was very exciting to be down there. It was a great showing. And like you said, now at home, it's just about reestablishing the routine. So plan A is we get to go out to Boardman and play a very, very tough team today. Or plan B is hit the weight room and get back into practice and get ready for tomorrow. So we're set for either which one, and we're just excited to be home and sleeping in our own beds, and me not stressing of having, you know, all of that going on down there.
Coach, we had McKenna on before you guys went down. We tried to get the origin of the paddles or where they're getting them. Tried to help you out. It was a classified secret, but I just wanted to put out there. We tried to give you some knowledge. It wasn't happening. They kept that on lockdown. We tried to do some hard-hitting reporting, but McKenna was strong in her interviewing skills and knew when to say no.
I still don't know how it started. And, you know, I warned the gym teachers that since we had a paddle casualty, they should be watching for the paddles throughout the day here, just in case you see any softball players in the gym, you know, keep an extra eye on them.
Another cool story, though, too, that I saw you posted on the social, on the Falcon softball social, running into Phil and Sue Smith, some Falcons alum, too. What was it like, too, just kind of small world realizing, too, that you run into some Falcons alumni, too, that know who you are from all the way down there in Myrtle Beach?
Well, I mean, it just goes to the saying that we have here at school-wide is once a Falcon, always a Falcon, and I'm a class of 97, so it was wonderful to see, just as you saw on the photo that they posted, just the number of years that the Falcons graduated in that family, I think dating back to 77 all the way to 2000. And having them there and then get to talk to them afterwards, they'd asked about, how the town is, how the school is, what's different, what's new. And we got to trade some old stories about, being in school together. And, their daughter came out and we congratulated her on a nice game. She came in relief pitching and did a nice job against us. And so it was just great to see that Falcon family all together, that it's just not limited to the area, that, we have strong connections and ties throughout this country. And it was great to hear some wonderful compliments.
Coach, this is a conversation me and Ty are going to have later on in the show. But because you kind of brought it up on social, and it's why we want to talk about it so much, I want you to kind of start it and get it going. The safety bag issue. It's in Ohio. It'll be in the state tournament. You got to have it in Ohio. It's not mandatory everywhere else. We see it in Division I softball. It's not there, and a lot of coaches have come out in the Division I softball and said, we need safety bags. They're in the Olympics. They're in the international. They're in professional. They're just not in college, and they're not nationwide, I guess, in softball. What makes them so important? Tell us from a coach's perspective. And for people that maybe watch baseball and don't get it, what makes it so important, and why do we need them in softball?
Well, I mean, you're looking at purely a safety issue here, is that, the runner is put in a tough spot to where they want to hustle and try and cross the bag. And, sometimes there's going to be contact, and sometimes it's in fair territory. So we think that there should have been an interference call there. That's part of the game. But in terms of player safety, and it didn't matter if that was our player running or their player running, is that you give them that extra, foot, 18 inches to run into foul territory. You then could avoid a potential very difficult injury, because you have one player that is more stationary, one player obviously with the full force of them running, making contact. That's not a good recipe for any team, and no team wants to see a player lost to injury for that. So maybe trying to incorporate a national rule. I'm very thankful that Ohio has that rule, because it is all about player safety. You don't want to see any player at any level go down because of, what would be a hustle play that they're trying to get through. They're running the hardest that they can, and maybe you're getting a little close to the throw. And, you could potentially really hurt someone, especially with shoulders involved.
Final question for you, Coach, and this one just for the mid-season kind of recap. With this team so full of personalities and so many different personalities on this team, I can attest for, what's one of the goofiest things one of your players have done this season that you can name off the top of your head?
You could take any moment from Shark Wake Park. They were just absolutely trying to gun the coaching staff the entire time. So we were ducks on a pond, Coach Fiddler and myself. Any chance that they got they were coming after us. And one of the more funny moments was Sydney going down one of the slides there, popping up, trying to run after me, and then completely wiping out, sliding down, herself falling in, and then dragging one of her players with her. So there were hundreds of moments like that at that park, to where they had so much fun, and they just let, again, their personality shine, to where, any chance that they could get Coach Ward to push them off to do that, they just took full advantage of it. So I think that was payback for making them run when we were in the gym.
Payback. You know what they say about payback? It's a word that we can't say on the air.
Well, Maddie Taylor has a great saying, and at the games you'll see her, she'll do a shoulder bump on me, and now that's caught on with the team. And so Maddie Taylor will always say, never let them know your next move, and then she'll shoulder bump me. And I'm like, Maddie, one of these times you're going to catch me off balance. I'm going to fall down, and people are going to think you knocked me down. She's like, good, I've been in the weight room, But it's all in good fun. I mean, we have such a wonderful group of players. Both they're extremely talented, but we always preach the person over player. And we definitely are so thankful to have wonderful personalities and wonderful just student athletes on our squad.
Next year, when you go down, we need a vlog. We need a video diary of the trip.
I think it would be a constant film reel of me getting knocked into water, me getting pushed over at the beach, things like that nature, where it's I think I'm going to live in fear from now on.
His Coach Ward in his natural habitat.
Yeah.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. We wish you the best of luck in your second half of the season, kind of going back into familiar foes and back into conference play. Boardman tonight, if the weather holds out. And that's going to be a great AAC matchup. If the weather holds up, I'll be there. So
Can't wait to see you.
Ty's not hogging you. So
can't get that one. Can't get that one. And
Well,
beat me to it, but
I mean, two powerhouses in the region going at it tonight. It's going to be a heck of a game. I know Coach Muth is going to have his team ready. They're going to be fired up, and we got that good rivalry between us and Boardman, and can't wait to see it played out on the field.
no doubt it'll be exciting.
We'll see you around, Coach. As always, thanks for the time.
Bye, guys. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.